The fake heiress just wanted to leave home. I was the fake heiress of a wealthy family. Ever since the real heiress returned, my whole family eagerly awaited the scene where I'd throw a fit, fighting for affection. But I quickly packed my bags and said, "Finally, I can leave, can't I?" Thank you all so much." The real heiress was stunned and asked, "Don't you resent me?" I patted her shoulder and replied, "Have you learned the rules of this house yet? You have to run at 6 a.m., there's a curfew at 8 p.m., you can't make a sound while eating, and you need family permission to date." Her face gradually turned pale. I waved my hand dismissively. "Good luck to you. I'm off to find my freedom." The butler's calling, the butler's calling. I was lazily playing a game at the office when Butler Chen's phone call startled me, causing me to accidentally kill my game character instantly. "Miss Hudi, the master wants you to return to the main villa immediately." I sat up straight, quickly glancing at the date on the bottom right corner of my computer screen. A sudden emptiness swelled in my heart. Could it be? That? Butler Chen, is it true? His voice deepened. "Miss Zhining's DNA test results are in, and the master has sent a car to pick you up." I sprang from my chair, spinning around like a spring. Xiaoyu Lin, sitting at the next desk, was still engrossed in her game. She was startled by my sudden movement, her eyes wide as she asked, "Hudi, did you win the lottery? Why are you so happy?" "It's even better than winning the lottery." I quickly shut down my computer, casually stuffing the small potted plant I had nurtured for 3 years into my handbag. "Finally, I'm free. But why are you stealing the company's plant? I've nurtured it for 3 years, there's an emotional attachment." Half an hour later, I stood before the gates of the Wen family villa, taking a deep breath. "This is the last time, Hudi Wen. Play this final scene well and you'll escape this misery." Pushing open the grand gates, I stepped inside. The air in the living room was so thick it felt like it could be wrung out. My father, my mother, and my brother sat in a perfect triangle on the real leather sofa. A triangle always brings stability. I politely greeted each of them. Glancing around, I saw the DNA test report lying on the tea table. I didn't show any expression, but inside I was overjoyed. Which limited edition designer bags should I take with me when I leave? My father didn't notice the happiness in my eyes. He simply cleared his throat and said, "Hudi, sit down. Your father has something to tell you. It's probably about me being the swapped heiress, and the real heiress has been found and is coming home soon, right?" I quickly blurted out. "Where is she? Let me go welcome her." The room fell silent. My family looked as if they'd swallowed their tongues. Yuwen glanced at me. "Hudi Wen, are you okay? Are you so shocked you don't know what to do?" He hesitated, then added, "If you want to cry, just cry. Don't try to hold it in. Hudi, your mother knows you're very sad. Hold on, I'm fine." I raised my hand to stop her. "When is my sister arriving? Do I need to help tidy her room?" My father frowned. "Hudi, you. Aren't you sad at all? Your father has always loved you. Why would you be sad?" I blinked, a naive expression on my face. "Having another sister, isn't that wonderful?" 3 pairs of eyes stared at me with suspicion, clearly unconvinced. According to their predictions, I should have been A. collapsing and crying hysterically, B. overturning tables and screaming loudly, or C. fainting immediately. They had even mentally prepared themselves to wait for me to calm down before introducing Zhining Wen. "Zhining is about to return? Your identity?" Yuwen hinted, clearly waiting for me to erupt in a fit of rage. What a pity. I just kept blinking, not playing along at all. No one could take advantage of me because I was utterly worthless to them. Yuwen sneered, "Fine." Then, like a kindergartner showing off a toy, he waved to the butler. The butler immediately led in a girl in a white dress. The girl pressed her lips together, her face full of anxiety, as if preparing for a major battle. The moment I saw her face, I understood why the family had suddenly found the real heiress. That face, while not identical, was indeed a spitting image of my father. I took a step forward. The whole family immediately became wary, their eyes darting between me and the other girl. I stifled a laugh, deliberately walking slowly to tease them. Then, under everyone's astonished gaze, I suddenly spread my arms wide. "Sister, welcome home." Zhining Wen froze, her eyes wide like a frightened bunny, stammering, "Sister, don't you hate me? I've stolen your place." "Hate you? I should be thanking you, actually." As soon as I finished speaking, a sudden, emotional sob echoed from behind. My mother rushed to embrace Zhining Wen as if straight out of a Qiang Yao drama. "Oh, my poor darling daughter." The corner of my mouth twitched. I discreetly moved aside, giving the stage to my father and brother. The 4 hugged each other tightly, the scene no different from a primetime family drama. Standing off to the side, I watched them, touched to the point of tears. A fleeting sense of emptiness welled up in my heart, then quickly dissipated. I swiftly regained my composure. While they were still engrossed in their emotional reunion, I quietly took 2 steps back. Turning, I headed upstairs, hastily packing my belongings. The first thing I did was throw the book, How to Be an Elegant Young Lady, into the trash. 20 minutes later, I stood at the bottom of the stairs with my suitcase. The whole family was instantly stunned, their expressions truly priceless. "Hughie Wen, what are you doing? Where is the demeanor of a daughter from a distinguished family? You're just giving your room to your sister, that's all." Jining Wen awkwardly stood off to the side. "Sister, you don't need to." Noticing her embarrassment, I patted her shoulder affectionately. "Have you gotten a clear grasp of this family's rules?" She shook her head blankly. I began counting on my fingers. "Every morning at 6 a.m., you must exercise. Curfew is at 8 p.m., no making noise while eating, and dating requires family approval. Oh, and right. Remember when I was 17 and went on my first date? The family sent 3 bodyguards to follow me. They scared my boyfriend away so badly he even transferred schools." Her face grew paler and paler as she furtively glanced at my parents. My mother quickly interrupted. "Hughie Wen, don't scare your sister." "I'm not scaring her, I'm just telling her about everyday life here." My brother was the quickest to react, the first to notice the abnormality. He asked where I was going. "I'm going to be an ordinary person." His eyes looked as if he'd seen a ghost, and he quickly blocked my path. "You've been accustomed to a life of luxury since you were little. How will you survive after leaving the Wen family?" I stopped, smiling mysteriously. Guess how much money I've secretly saved up over the years? Honestly, I just wanted to thank heavens for finally having eyes. Jining Wen grabbed my sleeve, her eyes brimming with tears. "Sister, please don't go." I gently stroked her head. "Be good from now on, you are the Wen family's sole hope." With that, I waved my hand dismissively, pulled my suitcase, and walked straight out of the house without looking back. "Good luck to you. I'm off to find my freedom." Outside the gates, my best friend Zai Lin was already waiting in a Hummer. When she saw me, her jaw almost dropped. "Hughie Wen, are you making a run for it?" The sound of my heels echoed as I hurried along. "It's not just a run, it's an escape." I quickly fastened my seatbelt and urged, "Hurry, drive, before they can react." The engine roared to life. I turned to look back at the Wen family villa, the place where I had grown up for over 20 years. I let out a laugh, like a true villain. Hughie Wen, am finally free." I wasn't sure if I was hearing things, but it seemed I heard my mother screaming from behind. "Stop her. She has my crocodile Birkin bag in her suitcase." "All right, everyone, where are we celebrating?" Zai Lin's words pulled me back to reality. Celebrate. Yes, an opportunity this good absolutely called for a celebration. I enthusiastically rubbed my hands together. Opening the Notes app on my phone, I excitedly declared, "My list of 100 things to do after leaving the Wen family. First stop, stinky tofu. Second, snail noodles. Third, veteran uncle's barbecue." The wind outside blew, carrying the smoky scent of roadside eateries, mingled with the rich aroma of dill. In the past, every meal at the Wen family home was strictly controlled. Foods that could cause weight gain were forbidden. Dishes with vibrant colors were banned, and as for anything with a strong, distinctive smell, don't even think about it. But now I rolled down the car window and yelled into the night sky, "Forget all those young lady rules. From now on, I'm a true foodie." "Oh please, your delicate stomach will probably land you in the hospital after a few skewers of barbecue." Zai Lin scoffed, giving me a mocking look. "And besides, did you think Baidian Fu was dead or something?" I choked, my spirits plummeting uncontrollably. Baidian Fu. That name hit me like a bucket of cold water. Seeing my silence, Zai Lin pouted. "What's wrong? Are you discouraged?" I smirked. "Not discouraged. A political marriage is just an exchange of benefits between 2 powerful families. The real child is what matters most. What am I to them? It's better to know my place and withdraw proactively." "Don't be ridiculous. You 2 grew up together. Don't overthink things with Baidian Fu." Shook my head. "It's just a marriage for business purposes. He's so cold he wouldn't care if the person he marries is Hughie Wen, Jining Wen, or Yu Wen, as long as they're from the Wen family." Who is Baidian Fu? He was the man who, at 16, made his opponent sweat during negotiations. He became the heir to the Fu Corporation at a very young age, barely 20, renowned for his coldness and ruthlessness that made everyone fear him. Feelings? For him, perhaps they were the most worthless thing. My fate truly felt as dismal as a rice cracker meeting water. First, he was my husband, now he's becoming my brother-in-law, I thought bitterly. The next afternoon, I woke up with a pounding headache, feeling like I'd been run over by a dozen trucks. Squinting at the dazzling sunlight outside the window, I glanced at my phone. It was already 1:30 p.m. Perfect. I'd skipped both breakfast and lunch. Truly, I live up to my reputation. My phone was flooded with messages from Xiaoyu Lin. How was it? How was it? Did you have fun with Baidian Fu last night? How many locations did you unlock? Bed, sofa in front of the mirror or next to the window. Don't be shy with your Anai. I know you've been craving his body for more than just a day or two. It's perfectly understandable not to hold back. Who needs to blink repeatedly? Honestly, Baidian Fu's body is a masterpiece. I wish I could bury my face in it too. Baidian Fu? Who? Where did he come from? I rubbed my forehead, trying to rummage through the scattered fragments of memory in my head, but everything was hazy as mist. Scrolling down, I saw a video. The moment it opened, I nearly threw my phone away. In the video, my face was flushed scarlet, my eyes glazed, standing on a plastic chair. I tilted my head up at a 45-degree angle, taking a deep philosophical breath of calcium milk. Xiaoyu, remember this well. Love can betray you, but cake never will. Xiaoyu Lin's exasperated voice came from behind. Huh, speak like a human, Anai. I seriously raised one finger, pointing it straight at the camera. With my other hand, I slowly pulled a pristine white chef's hat from my bag, placing it solemnly on my head. My voice was full of gravitas. The old Huti Wen is dead. The person standing before you now is the culinary artisan Huti, a woman who, in the future, will make you queue for 3 hours just to buy a renowned chiffon cake. Xiaoyu Lin laughed so hard the camera shook. Ha, you crazy delusional youth, wait a minute. Her voice suddenly broke off. Behind you, I snorted, not bothering to turn around. Trying to scare me again? You pulled that trick with the technician last time too. The next second, the video image froze because a slender, fair hand appeared in the frame, gently placed on my shoulder. Still drunk, I turned around, meeting familiar eyes that held both a hint of helplessness and a profound calmness. It was Baidian Fu. Baidian Fu wore a neat suit, his tie perfectly knotted, exuding professionalism, standing out amidst the noisy, smoky atmosphere of the street food stall. Meanwhile, I sat on a plastic chair, wearing a chef's hat, holding half a bottle of S-calcium milk. Time seemed to stand still. In the clip, I blinked a few times, then suddenly grinned, poking his face. Why is Baidian Fu here? Am I dreaming of him? I leaned my face close to his, my eyes hazy as I assessed him. But why is this Baidian Fu so cold? Doesn't he know how to smile? As I spoke, I abruptly grabbed his face, forcefully pulling it upwards, trying to force a smile onto him. Baidian Fu's glasses were askew. His usually calm eyes suddenly widened, and his long eyelashes trembled slightly. The video abruptly stopped. My phone thumped onto the bed. I slid to the floor, covering my face, letting out a desperate groan. Just let me die. Just as I was contemplating an honorable way to vanish from this earth, my phone unexpectedly rang. The caller, Ice Cold Fu. Panicked, I answered, my voice trembling. Hello. On the other end, his voice was low, tinged with a subtle weariness. Are you awake? Yes, I'm awake. I huddled myself. Does anything hurt? It's fine. Good, the kitchen on the second floor of my house. The maid has prepared hangover soup. His house? I was stunned. I quickly looked around. An unfamiliar room with minimalist gray, white, and black tones. On the bedside table, there was half-drunk black coffee. What on earth is happening? This is Baidian Fu's bedroom. Wait a minute, why am I at his house? There was a brief silence on the other end of the phone. Last night, you drank too much, threw up all over me, and stained your own clothes. I told you I'd take you back to the Wen family home, but you clung to a utility pole, refusing to go, muttering, I'd rather die than go back. Then you grabbed my sleeve and said you wanted to elope with me, asking if I'd agree. Xiaoyu seemed to have an urgent matter, grabbed the car keys, and sped off as if making some kind of resolution, so I had no choice. I wished I could dig a 3-room, 1-living-room space with my toes. So, did we do anything inappropriate last night? Have you forgot everything that happened last night? You and I. His voice showed disbelief, but he hesitated before finishing the sentence. My heart rate skyrocketed to 180. Countless indescribable images flashed through my mind, on the bed, on the sofa, in front of the mirror, next to the window. Could it really have happened? Huti Wen, that's your future brother-in-law. You're an animal, worse than an animal. Remember, it's just a little hazy, that's all. I forced a laugh, trying to act like I remembered everything clearly. On the other end, I heard the soft tapping of a pen on a desk, each beat striking my nerves. A moment later, he let out a faint sigh. Huti Wen? Yes, sir. I reacted instinctively, as if called upon by a teacher, immediately standing straight. Yesterday, you said. He paused. You wanted to open a bakery. My heart skipped a beat. Yes, that's right. Do you need capital investment? I quickly waved my hands. This is a small matter, no investment needed. I already have a plan. My personal savings from the past few years, plus a few designer bags I took from home, are enough to open a small bakery. No need, I have enough money. I just hope Mr. Fu will visit often to support me, that would be wonderful. Okay, he replied simply. I'll be there on opening day. My eyes lit up radiantly. Isn't this a god of wealth coming to visit? The phone was silent for a few seconds, then he let out a faint chuckle, a subtle relief in his voice. But just as I thought the call was about to end, he suddenly said something seemingly innocuous. What if I said I agreed? Nothing. His voice returned to its usual calm, as if his previous statement had been my hallucination. Go back to sleep. After hanging up, my phone screen lit up. A friend request was sitting neatly in the notification bar. Jining Wen wants to add you. Her profile picture was a kitten with teary eyes. I tapped accept. Very soon, she sent a choked voice message. Sister, it turns out you've been living such a difficult life all these years. How did you endure it? I stared at my phone, lost in thought. How did I endure it? Of course, because I was too weak. But since she asked, I can only say, sorry, my dear. 2 hands are enough to cut roses. Jining Wen seemed to burst into laughter, saying, I'll learn from you, sister. I'll try my best. Then she sent a sticker that said, let's work hard together, JPG. I replied with a head pat, JPG, and casually asked, my bakery is opening in a few days. Do you want to visit? Eat all the cakes you want, any flavor you want. No one could resist soft, delicious cakes. Jining Wen was clearly touched. Sister, I'm majoring in advertising. Let me write a promotional article and post it online to help promote your bakery as a thank you for you and your lovely cakes. She was as happy as a child. I just smiled faintly, not thinking much of it. It wasn't until opening day that I realized I had underestimated my sister's influence. As soon as the sun rose, there was a long line of people waiting in front of the shop. Young girls eagerly held up their phones, snapping photos of the cakes in the display case. It's really the bakery reviewed by Sweet Detective. I saw it on Little Red Book, too. This tiramisu is truly amazing. I need to quickly write a review for everyone. Wow, this little cake is so delicious it makes me want to cry. I've said it 1,000 times, humans cannot live without sweets, just like the West cannot live without Jerusalem. Alipay received 520 yuan, WeChat Pay received 88 yuan. The payment notifications rang incessantly, like a melodious tune, and the corners of my mouth nearly touched the sun. It was truly unexpected that such a master was right beside me. Jining Wen had a food blogger account with 200,000 followers on social media. Even my parents had no idea. As I counted the money, I chided myself. Oh, Hutie Wen, with such a talented sister, and you still dared to fantasize about her fiancé, do you have any conscience? By noon, the customer flow surged. My hands were a blur, wrapping cakes so fast they were just a shadow. Despite being too busy to rest, and my hands trembling with fatigue, this feeling was absolutely wonderful. The joy of earning money through my own work, the stability that came from my own hands, it was something I had never experienced while living in the Wen family home. At 6 p.m., the last customers finally left. I was checking the day's earnings when the doorbell chimed. Sorry, all the cakes for today are sold out. I looked up, instantly speechless. Baidian Fu, dressed in a dark gray 3-piece suit, stood at the door. Behind him, a gilded Maybach shimmered under the setting sun, a symbol of immense wealth. Seeing him there, I almost thought I heard the jingle of money. He truly lived up to his reputation as the man I once had my eye on. His aura was distinctly different. He approached, his gaze settling on me, seemingly surprised. You were at the Wen family home. I never saw you this happy. I thought you had to open a bakery because you had no other choice. I smiled brightly while counting money. Mr. Fu, you've misunderstood. If everyone wants to be a golden spoon young lady or a boss, then who will make these cute little cakes? And besides, this world also needs ordinary people. No need for a tumultuous life, no need for dramatic experiences, just quietly live a happy, ordinary life in this bustling world. Baidian Fu was silent for a moment after hearing this. His gaze swept over the empty display case, and he said softly, On my way here, I saw people holding your cakes and they were smiling brightly. I imagine they must be delicious. He hesitated, his voice deepening. It's a pity I came too late. I apologize, it seems I can never appear at the right time for you. It's not too late at all, I interrupted, taking a chocolate lava cake from the fridge. Ta-da. Mister, I saved this one just for you. Surprised, happy, Baidian Fu froze. The setting sun shone through the glass door and I saw a spark in his deep eyes like fireworks blooming in the night sky. You were always waiting for me. Of course, because you are. I bit my lip, trying to suppress the honest words that were about to burst out. My good friend. In the past, I would have confidently told him he was the one I had my eye on, even domineeringly lifting his chin, my voice husky. Man, you're playing with fire. I would only let go when his ears turned red. But not now. I was no longer a young lady heiress. A matching social status was gone, which meant he and I couldn't. I secretly lamented for the 10,000th time. Oh heaven, can you give me a husband with six-pack abs? Baidian Fu ate the cake very slowly. By the time I finished my work and returned, he had already left without me noticing, leaving behind only the empty cake box and a bit of chocolate residue, proof that he had been there. I nodded slightly, showing my approval. The little guy knows how to appreciate food. He's sure to succeed in anything he does. My phone chimed, displaying a transaction notification. Alipay received 100,000 yuan. Followed by a message. The cake was delicious. Consider this an advance payment. Tomorrow the company is having a team-building event. I'd like to order 200 small cakes, your choice of flavors. Ah, I hugged my phone and started spinning around the shop. Finally, luck was smiling on me. If this order was successful, not only would I earn a lot of money, but the bakery's reputation would also spread thanks to the renowned Fu Corporation. Suddenly, I stopped. 200 cakes, all by myself. I'd have to work tirelessly from morning till night. Mr. Fu, aren't 200 a bit too many? Even a pack horse needs its pride. You should know how to say no to unreasonable requests. Ding, another message notification sounded. Alipay received 20,000 yuan. The message, overtime bonus for hard work. Immediately, I deleted the half-typed message, quickly replying, your humble servant accepts the mission, ensuring excellent completion. It's not my fault, it's just that Baidian Fu is too generous. The sunset, like a burnt egg yolk, clung stubbornly to the sky, casting its last warm rays. After delivering the final batch of cakes to the delivery person, I felt completely drained, my spirit exhausted. Leaning against the workbench, I was like a dried fish, utterly devoid of motivation. I couldn't even bother to lift a finger. 12 hours, 200 cakes, even a seasoned baker would complain to the heavens. My phone vibrated with a message from a chat group I used to be in, the Rich Sisters Club. This group consisted entirely of prestigious young ladies from the big city. At first, they added me just to mock me, but then they realized I was like a plain steamed bun. Squeeze hard, no reaction, take a bite, no flavor. I existed so unobtrusively that they even forgot to kick me out of the group. Girls, this is hilarious. The real young lady the Wen family took in still has to greet the elders, and her mom even brought her along. I just raised an eyebrow and gave a few cold HMPFs, and she froze like a wooden statue, couldn't even speak. What kind of country bumpkin thinks she can step into the Wen family? Honestly, besides Hudy Wen, none of them are particularly talented. She only knows a bit of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is passable. If it were me, a hot-tempered big sister, I'd probably scare her into screaming. I remained silent. Oh, very good, you all forgot I was still in this group, huh? I held down the record button and uttered a chilling sentence. Just a gentle reminder, ladies, I'm still in this group, don't forget. Feeling that wasn't quite intimidating enough, I added, anyone who dares to touch my sister, don't blame me for having them carried out of here. The moment I sent that message, the chat group fell silent as if struck by lightning. Oh my god, Hudy Wen is still in the group? Who added her? Why didn't anyone kick her out? Su Yun, was it you? Your humble servant swears to heaven and earth my loyalty is being wronged. Then it must be Wang Kaio, not me. Esteemed seniors, please investigate the truth of the matter. A moment later, Su Yun and Wang Kaio were simultaneously singled out, tagging Shen Qingyan. It was you. Seeing the chat group become chaotic like a broken market, I intended to add fuel to the fire. Immediately, I was kicked out of the group. Shen Qingyan, it's okay, everyone, don't panic, I'm kicking her out now. Before I was expelled, I managed to glance at the mocking messages about Jining Wen and suddenly felt a pang of intense sorrow. If I had been there, she wouldn't have had to endure those scornful looks and harsh words alone. My parents insisted on dragging her to parties, not even considering whether she could handle such tedious rituals and gossip. I irritably ruffled my hair. The family I had yearned to escape was now imprisoning another girl. 15 minutes later, the taxi stopped right in front of the hotel. The revolving glass door reflected my image as I hurried inside. Sweeping through the elegant crowd, I scanned the room. Soon, I spotted Jining Wen. But then I froze. Standing opposite her was Baidian Fu. He subtly bowed his head, listening to someone else speak, his deep eyes becoming even more captivating. Tusk, 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 being handsome is no crime, you can tell with just one look. My lost husband. Ah no, get a grip. He's about to become my brother-in-law. Between him and me, at most, we're just siblings. Siblings will always be just siblings. Siblings can't become spouses. If you become spouses, you can no longer clap each other on the back and heroically roam the Jianghu with swords. If you become spouses, you can only curl up under the covers, sharing a bed and intimacy. So, siblings can't become spouses. Oh no, I mean spouses can't be siblings. My apologies. I meant damn siblings. Given the situation, if I, his ex-fiancé, showed up, it would only make the atmosphere even more awkward. I scanned my surroundings and stopped at the dessert area not far away. Behind the screen, it was just enough to hear the conversation without being discovered. I quietly sneaked over there, casually grabbing a piece of fruit from a pastry tray, telling myself, just stay silent and act like a potted plant. Suddenly, Baidian Fu's voice clearly rang out. Uncle, didn't you say Hughie would be here today? My father seemed a bit hesitant. She went off somewhere, I don't know where. Haven't even messaged me these past few days. When I said my daughter would be here, I meant Jining. Baidian Fu looked disappointed. All right then, if there's nothing else, I have matters to attend to. I'll take my leave. Hold on. It seemed my father wanted to keep him. You know all about our family situation, nephew. Hughie isn't my biological daughter. If you feel awkward, you can change your mind. My father didn't say the rest, but Baidian Fu was smart enough to understand the unspoken meaning. The atmosphere immediately became tense. My heart clenched, a feeling like cotton stuffed in my chest. Even though I had mentally prepared myself thoroughly, why did it still hurt so much when I actually heard it? I angrily bit hard into the pastry in my hand. Watch out. If you dare to touch my sister, you'll be messing with a hornet's nest. Half a minute later, Baidian Fu took 2 steps back, his voice serious. Uncle, I gambled my entire inheritance rights to persuade my grandfather to agree to this marriage. It wasn't for the Wen family's assets, but solely because the person I am marrying is Hughie Wen. I held my breath. I hope you understand, Uncle. I don't necessarily have to marry someone from the Wen family. Besides Hughie, I don't need anyone else. I clung tightly to the divider, slowly sitting down, my heart pounding, giggling foolishly like a child. That sentence kept replaying in my head. Besides Hughie, I don't need anyone else. After hearing those words, my parents' expressions became complex. 3 parts joy, 3 parts pride, 4 parts embarrassment. Well, it's good that Uncle and Auntie were overthinking things then. My mother had just finished speaking when she immediately pulled Jining Wen's hand. All right, let's take Jining to meet some new friends and not bother you two any longer. I almost got whiplash, turning away so quickly. If the magician Liu Kaiyan saw that, he'd surely want to apprentice under her. Seeing Baidian Fu about to turn around, I quickly ducked my head. When I peeked out again, my parents were leading Jining into a private room. Seizing the opportunity, I secretly ran towards my sister. Unexpectedly, another man was quicker, even slamming the door shut. I narrowed my eyes. Yi Zhou, the eldest son of the Zhou family. Although the Zhou family's influence couldn't compare to the Fu family's in terms of tradition, they had risen sharply in recent years. Is this? Introducing my sister to him, I cautiously crept closer, pressing my ear to the door to listen. It's your good fortune that I'm taking an interest in you, miss. Let me tell you, in these circles, your Wen family isn't worth a dime. This circle, at least from your great-grandfather's generation, you have to be wealthy. Your family only got rich through sheer luck, and now you want to climb higher through marriage? You think you're clever, but in our eyes, you're nothing but clowns, worse than beggars. Anger surged within me. I pried open a crack in the door and peeked inside. Yi Zhou was gripping Jining Wen's chin, his tone contemptuous. But this face, it pleases me. If you serve me well and make me happy, perhaps I'll consider lending your family a hand. Jining Wen had never endured such humiliation. Her face was bright red. Young Master Zhou, please respect yourself. Still pretending to be pure, are we? Yi Zhou sneered, grabbing her wrist. You think you're the real young lady, don't you? Bang. Jining was pushed onto the sofa, followed by the sound of fabric tearing and her horrified scream. What are you doing? Let go of me, I have a boyfriend. Yi Zhou, break up with him then, make me happy, and I'll give your family a chance. I clenched my fists tightly, blood rushing to my brain in an instant. I quickly looked around, grabbed a fire extinguisher from the hallway, took a deep breath, and swung my arm with the precise motion of a demolition team. Crash, the lock burst open. I saw Yi Zhou pressing down on Jining Wen, tearing her clothes. I charged in, pulling him off with one hand, shielding my sister. Yi Zhou, get out of my sight. I gritted each word, my voice icy. Yi Zhou was stunned for a second, then scoffed. Oh, the Wen family's eldest young lady has arrived too? Both sisters serving me together? I don't mind. I nearly threw up last night's afternoon tea. What kind of trash is this? He said, reaching out to touch my chin. I immediately slapped his hand away, turning and delivering a thunderous slap across his face. Smack! Yi Zhou staggered, his tongue brushing his numbing lip corner, his eyes glinting with malice. You dare to hit me? Have the Wen family members lived long enough? I hit scum like you. My trembling hand was clenched tight. I refused to back down an inch. Behind me, Jining Wen tugged at my clothes, her voice choked with tears. Sister, let's go. Yi Zhou sneered. Go where? Don't even dream of it today, Yi Zhou. A glacial male voice rang out from the doorway. Everyone froze. I turned my head. Baidian Fu stood there, one hand in his pocket, his expression terrifyingly dark. Try touching them. Yi Zhou immediately flinched back in fear. Young Master Fu, I'm sorry. What do you have to be sorry for? What is the Wen family to you? Baidian Fu repeated, his tone unchanged. Apologize, or by tomorrow morning your company's stock price will plummet. Choose. Cold sweat trickled down Yi Zhou's forehead. In the capital's upper circles, the Fu family's power was something no one dared to challenge. If Baidian Fu said it, he would surely do it. Apologize or try to resist. There was no need to think. I apologize. Today I was blinded by lust. It's my fault. I apologize to both young ladies. Yi Zhou bowed 90 degrees. By this time, due to the loud noise of the door being smashed, a crowd had gathered outside to gawk, some even holding up their phones to record. Rich sisters battling scum, not a wasted trip, what a spectacle. Young Master Fu commanded cold play, sending Yi Zhou on his way. I've hated him for a long time, but I was afraid of his family background. Well done. Yi Zhou's parents were also in the crowd, their faces ashen, dragging their useless son away. Pack your bags and go abroad tomorrow. From now on, your second brother will handle everything in the family. After everything was settled, Baidian Fu merely glanced around, and the bodyguards immediately dispersed the crowd. The heavy wooden door closed again, leaving only Jining Wen and me in the room. She was huddled in the corner of the sofa, still looking disoriented. Only then did I realize how much weight she had lost. Her Chanel suit, once perfectly fitted, now hung loosely, making her look like a child secretly wearing adult clothes. I gently touched her shoulder, whispering, Honey, right now you're like dough that hasn't risen yet. My words seemed to have triggered a secret switch. Jining Wen burst into tears, burying her face against me, sobbing, Sister, I don't want to go back home anymore. Crying, she recounted, Every morning at 5 a.m. I have to wake up and run. Then there are endless training classes. Last week, when I fell off a horse during riding practice, Mother coldly declared, A Wen family daughter is not allowed to be weak. And today, Mother took me to meet some young ladies, and they were so mean. They trapped me in the restroom and wouldn't let me out. They forced me to give them all my jewelry, saying I wasn't worthy of wearing such things. Outside, rain had started falling without me noticing. Each raindrop splattered against the window, sounding like hammers pounding on my heart. I tightened my embrace around Jining Wen's slender shoulders, letting her vent all her grievances, then gently wiped away her tears. Looking at her sparkling, tear-filled eyes, I softly said, I'm sorry, my dear. I'm so useless, I only knew how to run away, leaving you to sink in that quagmire alone. If I had stayed, they surely wouldn't have dared to bully you. Do our parents know you were bullied? She shook her head. I don't want to worry them. Then she gathered all her courage and said, Sister, can I not have an arranged marriage? I already have a boyfriend. We've been together for 3 years. He's never looked down on me for being an orphan. He's very kind, polite, and most importantly, he respects me. To me, he's better than any young master. But his family background is ordinary, so our parents will definitely not agree. Seeing her red-rimmed eyes, my heart ached. Don't worry, I hugged her tightly, patting my chest. Leave this to me. But as soon as I finished speaking, I froze. Convincing my old-fashioned parents to accept a poor young man was like searching for a needle in a haystack. Unless. I leaned closer to her ear and whispered, We'll fight poison with poison. I whispered into Jining Wen's ear for 10 minutes. After hearing it, her eyes widened. Sister, will this method really work? I nodded. This is the only way. This house is too stifling. If you want to open a window, they won't let you. But if you demand to tear down the entire roof, they'll agree to open a window. Once our parents experience love that defies gender, love with someone much older, love with a bizarre artist, asterisk, then you introduce your real boyfriend. In their eyes, he'll be nothing short of an angel. She still hesitated. What if our parents investigate? If they find out they're actors, it'll all be ruined. Don't worry, leave it to Baidian Fu. He'll make sure it's absolutely real. As soon as our parents investigate a little, they'll be shocked to find everything is completely true. Haha, Jining Wen smiled radiantly, giving me a thumbs up. Sister, I knew you were the best. Baidian Fu worked with lightning speed. In less than an hour, he had found all the people. That young man with the rainbow hair, he's a new engineer hired by Fu Corporation in 2000. And that bald uncle, he's the dean of the medical school. Baidian Fu suddenly fell silent, his expression indescribable. As for the girlfriend, my cousin just saw Jining Wen's photo and messaged me. For art, I'm willing to sacrifice myself. Do you need more kissing scenes? I held my forehead, stifling a laugh. Oh dear, please don't fall in love with a straight girl. The Wen family villa. The plan to overthrow, round 1. My parents were still surprised why I was back home. Before they could say anything, a loud asterisk crash echoed from downstairs. The whole family rushed down, only to see a young man with rainbow-dyed hair riding a high-displacement motorcycle, crashing straight into the living room with Jining Wen as his passenger. Jining Wen awkwardly introduced, "This is my boyfriend." My parents looked at his 7-colored rainbow hair, their eyes filled with wariness. The rebellious young man spoke first. "The roads are dark, society is complex. Hello, hello," he said, reaching out for a handshake. My mother sprang from her chair, pretending to exercise, but he was undeterred, turning to shake my father's hand with extreme enthusiasm. My father, adopting the air of an elder, began to pour tea and probe. "How many children do you have, young man?" "Sir, I'm the only child in my family." Jining Wen quickly added, "An only child is the best." I stood by, trying to suppress my laughter, having to think of all the worst things in my life to keep from breaking. Seeing my parents' displeasure, Jining Wen tried to salvage the situation. "And he can sing and dance too." Hearing this, the unruly young man immediately jumped up, performing a few social dance moves, pulling Jining Wen to dance along. Their mouths were singing loudly, and my parents seemed to be brain-frozen. My mother, with a last glimmer of faint hope, tremblingly asked, "Do you have a house, a car?" He held up 2 fingers. 2 houses, 2 cars there, electric bicycles. And they're super fast, I swear, never have to worry about traffic jams. My parents were speechless, having already pronounced a death sentence for him in their minds. But out of politeness, they kept him for dinner, intending to use the meal to gently deter him, hoping he'd take the hint and retreat. As soon as dinner began, my parents frowned at the way he scooped soup with his bowl and drank it. He should be using a spoon. Before they could speak, he had already started a live stream, filming the entire interior of the house. "Hey everyone, I'm currently at my future-in-law's house. Look how fancy and luxurious it is." My father almost choked on his soup. I quickly handed him a tissue. Truly a professional actor, never missing a beat. After a few bites, he turned the camera around, pointing it directly at my parents. "All right, everyone, say hello to the audience watching the live stream." My parents, still disoriented, reflexively waved and said, "Hello." Then he turned the camera to me and Jining, who understood and waved along. "Oh, those 2 girls just now were so pretty. Film them more. Tonight, let's aim for 1 million likes, brothers." "If we hit 1 million likes, I'll propose to her right away." Jining Wen gently picked up some rice and fed it to him. He, eyes glued to his phone, turned his head to take a small bite. A few grains of rice scattered onto the floor. My father couldn't take it anymore. He pulled off his belt, ready to teach him a lesson. Get out of my sight right now." I quickly stood in front, signaling for the 2 to run. They understood, running away for dear life. Just then they crashed into Yuwen, who had just returned home. He stared at the dazzling rainbow-dyed hair, muttering, "Huh, am I still drunk? This kind of person absolutely cannot appear in the Wen family house." After entering the house and hearing the full story, he grabbed a broom and charged out. Seeing that the situation seemed to be getting out of hand, I pulled him into a small corner and whispered to him. After listening, Yuwen's face was full of surprise. "There's this kind of game too." I lowered my voice. "Don't worry about it. A nod means yes, a shake means no. Joining the club, go go." Yu Wen nodded repeatedly. Go, 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 go. With Yu Wen joining in, our plan went much more smoothly. He subtly influenced our parents from the inside, while Xining and I deliberately used more aggressive tactics. As for Xining, the more pitiful she appeared, the better. My parents clearly grew more and more exhausted. 2 weeks later, Operation Deter the Heartthrobs Round 2 began. Xining Wen once again timidly introduced, Mom, Dad, this is my boyfriend. He's a very educated man. My father looked at the bald man, roughly his own age, his face twitching. The professor, fresh to the field, launched a fatal blow. Hello, father. My father nearly fainted. I quickly stuffed a homemade pastry into his mouth. Annoying him was one thing, but his health was paramount. I immediately rushed in to assist my brother, and together we quickly ushered the two out. A month later, Operation Break the Curse, Round 3, unfolded. My parents looked at the cool young man standing before them, their expressions hard to decipher, were they happy or not. Though young, he was very polite, and his family was well off, not extremely wealthy but definitely well-to-do. After dinner, the cool guy turned to Xining Wen and asked, Do you have a sanitary pad? I think I'm getting my period. My mother didn't hear clearly. What? Your daughter's mother is about to have her period? Before he could explain, Xining Wen immediately pulled a pad from her bag and handed it to him. The young man silently took it and went to the restroom. My father startled, dropping his teacup. My mother frantically ripped off her moisturizing mask. He's a girl. Xining Wen nodded, confirming. My father angrily pulled out his belt. My mother hastily grabbed a broom. Yu Wen and I each stopped one of them. We both vigorously signaled Xining Wen with our eyes. Understanding, she dragged her lover and fled. Another month passed, and finally, Xining Wen brought her actual boyfriend home to introduce to the family. My father stood blocking the door, absolutely refusing to let him in. How old are you? Gu Yan looked bewildered but reflexively answered. 23, sir. Are you male or female? Male, sir. My father immediately slung an arm around Gu Yan's shoulder. My dear son-in-law, why did you take so long to get here? My mother also broke into a radiant, utterly satisfied smile. Xining Wen and I looked at each other, simultaneously raising our hands for a high five. Operation Break the Curse had been a resounding success. Xining's major life problem was solved. Now it was my turn to deal with my own affairs. In the attic, I bit my pen, engrossed in sketching decoration designs in my notebook. At my feet was a pile of cherished childhood treasures I had just retrieved from storage. Paper cranes made in kindergarten, a handmade bookshelf from elementary school, my first track and field medal from middle school, a championship cup from high school, along with postcards and souvenirs Baidian Fu had sent me throughout his years studying abroad. He had spent years sending the whole world back to me. The man I loved me back. I was truly overwhelmingly happy. He had bravely taken the first step. Now it was my turn. I encouraged myself, starting to mess with LED lights, setting up a photo wall, scattering rose petals, and making a heart-shaped cake. The chosen location for my confession was the second-floor balcony of the bakery. Lately, Baidian Fu had been visiting the shop daily. This was the perfect opportunity to surprise him. The phone suddenly rang. Holding a light, I answered. Hello? Yes, please bring the order of 9,999 roses to the second floor. Everything was prepared. All that was missing was my beloved. I softly cleared my throat, put on my cutest voice, and sent him a voice message. The shop is closed today, but I've still prepared your cake. Come pick it up whenever you have time, okay? He replied immediately. I'll be there as soon as I finish class, probably in about an hour. I let out a squeal of delight, then began rehearsing my confession. Baidian Fu, actually, I forgot completely. Baidian Fu, I like no redo. Baidian Fu, this woman likes you. Do you accept? Give me a yes or no. That doesn't sound right. Xiaoyu Lin on the other end of the video call was rolling with laughter. Hudy Wen, are you confessing or challenging someone to a fight? Listen to me, just say whatever comes from your heart, that's the most sincere. I thought that made sense, so I scrapped the rehearsal. In the half-hour wait, my heart pounded wildly. I paced back and forth on the balcony, then checked my hair in the mirror, even plucking flower petals to count. He'll agree immediately. He'll hesitate, then agree. He'll agree right away. When I reached the 99th petal, the wind chimes at the shop door jingled. Baidian Fu stepped into the shop, looking around to find no one. Hudy, I called from upstairs, peeking out the door. I'm up here, come up. Thump, thump, thump. His footsteps ascended the wooden stairs, then stopped. 1 minute, 2 minutes passed. Impatient, I was about to go open the door. Just then, the door swung open. The moment he stepped in, the LED lights simultaneously burst to life, shining brightly. He stood amidst the crisscrossing lights, his gaze sweeping over the rose-petal carpet, the photo wall, then settling on my flushed face. He subtly swallowed. Baidian Fu, I walked towards him emotionally. Perhaps due to being overly nervous, my left foot tripped over my right. Crash, I stumbled and fell right in front of him as if bowing to heaven and earth. Hughie Wen, he helped me up, unable to hide his amusement. Are you wishing me a happy new year early, or are you preparing for a wedding ceremony? Embarrassed, I wanted to disappear into the ground. Just as I was about to retort, he pulled me into his arms. The distance was too close. His lips were rosy and soft. I wanted to kiss him so badly. The gentle yellow lights filtered through his long eyelashes, casting shimmering shadows on his face. He took a velvet box from his pocket. Inside was a sparkling 5-carat diamond ring. Actually, I prepared this ring a long time ago. I just never had the courage to give it to you. Shall I put it on you now? I nodded repeatedly, my left hand trembling slightly. Baidian Fu, do you know? I whispered softly into his ear. I spent half an hour thinking of what to say, but in the end, I couldn't say anything. He smiled gently, his warm hand tenderly stroking my hair. It's okay, I understand everything in your heart. I softly asked. Then, can I kiss you? Yes. Before the word fully left his lips, his mouth was already occupying mine. I couldn't wait any longer. I lifted my face, eyes glistening with tears, seeing only his eyelashes tremble slightly and the corners of his eyes a little flushed. Suddenly, he pulled back a little, his warm breath fanning my forehead. Let me breathe. His eyes were as deep as a lake, reflecting my image with a flushed face and reddened ears. Are you that impatient? His finger gently traced the corner of my lips, then he gently lifted my knee, carrying me onto the small wooden table. The night is still long. He leaned in, his nose rubbing against my burning ear. Let's take our time. In the distance, a shooting star streaked across the night sky. I silently made a wish. I only hoped that for the rest of my life, I could gaze at the night sky with him. Music.